Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco Peak Pro SoCal Dabbers Diamond Dab of the Day. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining me. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Join the family, tell your friends, hit that subscription button, send a like, and I'll reply to all comments. Let's get started with today's topic. How do we boost our creativity? Sometimes it seems that certain people are gifted with the knack for creativity. If you feel like you're not one of those lucky people who draws from a seemingly endless repertoire of creativity, doesn't mean that we're doomed to a life of mundane and expected living. Much like a muscle, creativity is something that we can cultivate and develop with little practice and hard work. Let's discuss. One important thing to remember is that creativity is not a passive process. Simply sitting back and waiting for inspiration to find us is a recipe for losing motivation and becoming discouraged. Instead, we need to focus on looking for ways to boost our creativity. Seek out the things that inspire us and that help us focus our attention and mental energy on the task at hand. Well, maybe go for a walk to help stimulate your creativity. Do you know that studies find that people tend to be more creative when they're walking rather than when they're sitting down? Physical activity can play an important role in boosting and protecting cognitive abilities. A simple walk could temporarily improve certain types of thinking. So if we're tied to a desk and struggling to come up with good ideas, try going for a quick walk to see if inspiration may strike. Researchers also found that rewarding things that are already intrinsically rewarding can backfire and actually reduce motivation. It's a phenomenon known as over-justification. So it might seem like offering some sort of reward for creative thinking might have the opposite effect, stifling creativity and motivation. But research found that when rewards are offered explicitly for producing creative works, creativity actually increases. So if we're trying to find inspiration, maybe try promising ourselves some type of desirable treat as a reward for coming up with your creative solution. Just don't overdo it, or we actually risk decreasing our motivation. It's a fine line. People often suggest taking a break from a task when you've hit a creative block. I've done this plenty of times, and it does help. Placing some psychological distance between yourself and the problem may do the trick. You can imagine that a problem originated from a far location versus a close one. That also can help solve problems and come up with more creative solutions. Maybe the next time we face a difficult problem, we should try imagining that the issue is far away, distant, and disconnected from our current location, thus easier to handle. Well, you want to surround yourself with inspiration, right? Surroundings play a role in the creative process. Stimulating environments can facilitate creativity. So surrounding ourselves with things that we feel inspired by and motivated by can help. Maybe create a space that helps us feel inspired and energized. Seek out stimulating experiences and settings because they can help trigger our inventiveness. Well, when we're trying to solve a problem, we often rely on the obvious, building on existing ideas in order to come up with the easiest, simplest solution. This often leads to a good outcome, but it can also lead to mental sets and functional fixedness, which makes it challenging to think of creative solutions. One way to overcome that is to place some restrictions or resistance on our thinking, which can lead to more creative solutions. Maybe the next time we try to solve a problem, we try limiting the things that we can use to come up with a solution. We might find ourselves coming up with new, and innovative ideas that we've never would have considered otherwise. In today's high-tech connected world, distraction is a click away. Instead of filling every idle moment with apps, games, email, website visits, try letting ourselves actually be bored for a spell. What do you think of that? Bored participants perform better sometimes on creativity tests versus those who were elated, relaxed, or distressed. Boredom might give people time to daydream, which leads to even greater creativity. Boredom encourages creative thinking because it sends a signal that the current situation or environment is lacking and looking for new ideas. And inspiration helps overcome that. One common trait that creative people tend to share is that they typically reconceptualize problems more often than less creative people do. Instead of continuing to throw oneself at the same mental wall, try stepping back. Let's revisit problems from the very beginning. Is there a different way to think about that problem? Can you look at the issue from a different angle? You see, I'm an angular person. That's always how I looked at things. Problem, not for me. Over it, under it, around it, through it, come at it from different angles, dilute it, whatever you have to do, cut it up into smaller pieces. You see, giving yourself a chance to start over with a fresh point of view just might be the ticket to foster creative thinking and lead to even more novel solutions. Well, positive emotions are strongly related to creativity. Strong positive and emotional states are linked to creative thinking. Now, we shouldn't rush out and put ourselves in a bad mood just to gain some inspiration. But maybe the next time we find ourselves in a negative emotional state, we can try applying some of that energy towards solving a problem or accomplishing a task rather than just sitting around fuming. Negative emotions can definitely be unpleasant, but we can make the most out of them by working on something productive even when we're in a bad mood. Well, you can always meditate and you can always seek help, professional help. Because you know what? Creativity is an important asset. One that you want to have more of, not less of. Hope you enjoyed today's discussion about creativity. You know what to do if you did. Hit that subscribe button. Join the family. Tell your friends about Senior Stoner. They can join the family. Hit the like button, and as you all know, I reply to everybody's comments personally. Here we go with our Puffco Peak Pro Diamond Dab of the Day. Thanks again, everybody. You all have a wonderful day out there. This has been your real Senior Stoner. Cheers. And have a great one, everybody. Let's exercise those creative muscles. Cheers. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining Real Senior Stoner.